Hi, welcome to the Choose Your Shelf once again. Today we're going to talk about the books I read in October and my November books. So this will be basically the books I've read so far, even the ones in November, as well as the books that I want to read it this month, which may or may not change because I'm a little bit of a mood reader, but we'll see how that goes. In October, I started out with my reading challenge. I read Immortal Dark by Tika Skirma. That book I rated 3 stars. It was a good story. However, there were parts of the book I was just like, come on already. And if you have the patience for world building and character development, which I have the patience for character development, but the world building, not so much, then this will probably be a really great book for you. I definitely would say that it's worth the read. It does end on a cliffhanger, however, so if that bothers you, wait until next year when book 2 comes out and read it then. The next book I read was The Love of My Afterlife. I listened to this book on Audible and I laughed, I cried. There was a twist in there, and I figured it out before the book told me, and I was like, it's her, and it was so exciting, but it was also really emotional, and it was a beautiful little story, and it was a great story to kind of ease myself into more holiday romance books for November. So in November so far, I've actually read quite a few books. One of the books I read was When It Rains in Color, which is this book right here. And I finished this a couple days ago, and I really wanted to love this book. I rated it a 3-star. My biggest challenge is that the world building, but not the world building in this so much, was the fact that I didn't understand the world that she had built. It sounded really beautiful, but I didn't understand it, and I had to make a decision at some point if I was going to continue reading this book, because I almost DNF'd it. I'm not going to lie. Can't even lie about that. However, I pressed on and I finished it, and I'm glad I did. So I did rate this a 3 stars because even though the first half of this book annoyed me greatly, once things started moving, and you really got to see the main character. I think how you say her name is Lilia. I may have said that wrong, but you really seen her character growth, and it was a beautiful story. And I loved the connection to the African traditions. It was a beautiful story. So I really loved that, and I loved how she literally pushed past or was continually trying to push past the bounds of what was expected of her without giving out a spoiler or anything. That's about as much as I can say about this book. But if you can hang in there, then read this book and let me know how you feel about it. The next one I have read is Love in Wonderland, and this was such a cute little book. I really enjoyed this book so much. They're trying to save the bookstore, and the main characters are it's Trey and is it Ariel, right? Because they call her, one of the other characters call her Little Mermaid in the story. And I really loved how Ariel, she is a little bit bigger, curvy girl, and how she gained a level of self-confidence and learned to value herself in this book. So, it wasn't just a romantic book about Trey and Ariel, it was also a book about her finding her backbone and standing up for herself and seeing her own value. So I really did like this book. It was a cute little book, and I rated this a 4-star. I keep looking over here because I wrote down my rating, because I've actually tried to record this before and I completely forgot my rating. So still know this, but I'm sure it'll get better as time goes on. This book I just finished like an hour ago. I'll Be Gone for Christmas, and this was a good story as well. I rated it a 4-star because you had 4 main characters in here. You had B and Beth, which are twins, and then you had Clover and Knox, which have their own history as well. And it's really heartwarming and cute. Just a cute little book about, stepping past what's expected of you and finding your own happiness. That was the story that I got from it more than anything. But the premise of the story is that one of the sisters, one of the twins, B, she basically does this, she swaps houses for a month with another lady, Clover, and she's like, Clover is in Oregon, I think, somewhere in the Booties, so we'll just say. And then, I know I just finished, it's crazy, but the location wasn't the important part of the story. And then Clover went to San Francisco, and apparently B has a beautiful apartment, and she really found, bravery within herself to truly be herself. Clover did, and it was a cute little story. So I would recommend this one too if you want something for Christmas, and either one of these would be really good Christmas reads. So let's talk about what I'm currently reading. I have, I read different books. Like I said before, I read books that are for self-improvement stuff. And this book, the title is a little shocking, but I still am enjoying it. Witches, Sluts, and Feminists. This is a good book, and it's very informative on the development of where even the word of witch came from, and how people were called sluts, and how these things are all connected. So this is a really good book. We bought this at a cute little bookstore in New Orleans, Frenchman's Books. So it's a good book to read, but it's very informative. It even has some pictures in here in different areas. And some of these pictures are pretty wild. So, but and I haven't even made it that far on the page, so I don't even know what that's about. But I really am enjoying this book. It's a little bit more of a slower read, even though it's a short book. For me, it's like, how many pages is this? 163 pages. Actually, it's even less than that, because that's Interview with a Witch. 154 pages. So it's a short little book, and if I wanted to, I'm sure I could just wipe it out in no time, but I'm actually enjoying just digesting the information at a little bit slower rate. So I just started this book, and we'll see. I don't know yet, but who recommended this? One of the other booktubers recommended this book. I'll put her link below. Sky Full of Elephants. This book, like, I can't say too much about it because I don't really know. I'm only on page 15, so I don't really know where it's going yet. Right now, I'm just dealing with the shock or the premise of the story. And the premise of the story is basically that, which I honestly didn't even read that much, but just the gist of it is all of the Caucasian people in the entire world have walked into an ocean. That's my understanding. And now they're trying to run, all the people that are left are trying to basically get their world back up and operating, and talking about the effects of basically a big portion of the population dying. So it's an interesting read for sure, and I am curious to see how it turns out. And let's talk about my TBR. So for November, I have The Most Wonderful Time. I think that this will be a cute book, but let me just read the back. It says, with Christmas around the corner, Ramona Tucker is desperate to get away. She's been lying to her family about her engagement, but breakups are fickle, and Ramona is convinced that she can make her pretend wedding real again, but only if she can prevent everyone from discovering her secret at her mother's over-the-top Christmas Eve party. 2,000 miles away in sunny Malibu, Chelsea Flint needs money to hold on to a beloved beachside cottage she shared with her late parents. The taxes are expensive, and her art isn't paying the bills. Once a rising star of the Los Angeles art scene, Chelsea seems to have lost a spark that vaulted her to the top. If she doesn't rediscover that magic and sell a painting soon, it will be her family's home she's selling instead. So, this is a house swap as well. So they swapped their houses. I'm not gonna lie, when I first seen this book in the bookstore a couple weeks ago, I looked at it, I read the back, and I was like, I didn't like the first paragraph where she was like trying to pretend that she's still gonna get married. I was like, that part of a trope always bothers me. I'm like, why? So we'll see, but let me read the rest of this. Two women swap houses just in time, thanks to some careful planning by Ramona's best friend and a sturdy nudge from Chelsea's gallerist godmother. Ramona's Malibu dreams of sun and surf are interrupted as her first night brings an unwelcome stranger to the door, making her question whom she can trust. Joan, the meddling neighbor, or Jay, the handsome beachside fitness instructor with a secret of his own. Chelsea, desperate for Ramona to stay, hides what she knows, even if that means jeopardizing her budding connection with the charming Carlos, whose dreams for the future could be the very key to unlock Chelsea from the weight of her past. So, I don't know. It says they swap homes, but then that last sentence, I wonder. So, we'll see what happens there. Then I have another holiday book. I've never read this author either, and it's Rural Holiday. And it says, Vivian Forrest has been out of the country a grand total of one time. So when she gets the chance to tag along on her daughter Maddie's work trip to England to style a rural family member, she can't refuse. She's excited to spend the holidays taking the magnificent British sights, but what she doesn't expect is to become instantly attracted to a certain private security, his charming accent, and his unyielding formality. Okay, I'll just go ahead and stop reading there because I don't like to know the whole story. But there you go. And then just to break it up a little, because we can't have all romance all the time, right? I seen this one and it looked good. Monsters We Defy, which I did get this at the end of October, so we'll see if I read this month. But apparently she can talk to spirits, and she has to go on a heist, and she recruits some other stranger individuals. Yes, I've already read the back of this. And they're like a hodgepodge team they're put together, and there may be stakes higher than what she realizes, apparently. So we'll see how Clara does on this adventure. And then I bought the cutest little thing that I want to show you. I haven't opened it yet, so we're going to open it together. But it's Blind Date with a Book. Isn't it not cute? So this is the bookstore that I love to go to here in Knoxville. I love this place. And it says it's a poetry edition. Read me if you feel lost on your journey right now. You're ready to reflect on the progress in the South. You want to feel heard by the people around you. So I don't feel lost in my journey right now, but I definitely feel like I'm fleshing out my journey more. So I was like, why not? And there were a lot of these. They had books, they had poetry books, like it was endless. And the even cuter thing, in my opinion, was when I read this book, they wrapped books as well for one of their selling advertisements. So I thought that was super cute. I was like, oh my goodness. So let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Back to Alabama. The collection exploring the complexities of Black American identity, families, cultural heritage, womanhood, and religious faith. And says a lot of other things as well. So, obviously, you don't just read. Well, I don't just read through poetry books. Which yes, I say that word weird. Don't razz me. And don't razz me for saying razz me. Oh, they have Harriet Tubman. These nights no one is home. Caseloads of young, the North Star foggy. When I was a child, someone hit me so hard, I lost my sense of beauty. Aww. I heard the ocean beating where the ice marches over the shore. Freedom is the choice to cross a river. Tell a child another world exists. I am not the only one. If you look out at night, you'll hear them calling. Aww. Okay, so I do like this one. I do like the history. Black Don't Crack and other tales in multiple choice. Okay. History. He worked on a railroad. A. B. He worked on a railroad. C. He worked on a railroad. D. He worked on a railroad. Okay. I think I get it. That's cute. Anyways, so I got this, which was really cute as well. So I will look over that as well. That is all for November. I do have some books that I want to read, but I'm waiting on getting. So we'll see if that's in November that I read those or December. But I definitely will update you when I get more books and let you know how Skyfall of Elephant goes. I'm thinking about doing some videos of me reading and maybe going to the bookstore as well. I'll see. Let me know if you're interested in that and what that looks like. I know a lot of people vlog that. I really like, shout out to Chauncey Schroeder. I think that's how you say your last name. I love watching her videos. Like, she is such a beautiful spirit, and she can go to the bookstore and look at books. It doesn't matter. I'm watching her video. Like, I think she's amazing. There are so many great booktubers out there that I have really enjoyed watching and getting book recommendations for. Until next time, have a great one. Bye.